Okay. Here is my present. My name is Davitt. I'm 19. I'm a film student on the film and TV course. Here is my presentation for my script for JC's class. Basically, it's a story of a lad who he's recently been released from the juvenile centre. He's been through the system his whole life, etc, etc, and is now at Davitt High. As you can see, it's very clever because you can cross out the D and it's now a H for Hellvale High. It's a school for boys with criminal tendencies and thoughts of a distressing nature. If you thought that couldn't be get any worse for him, he's constantly battling in an uphill battle for redemption. That is the theme of the script, and yeah, he basically wants to live a quiet life and get through his school time there because he knows it's his last shot of anything, and if he's not already peaked. But yeah, he wants to redeem himself, make a better mark on society than he already has, and it's a struggle because the school is roamed with gangs of bullies, roaming it, violence. The teachers are just ambivalent to anything, they couldn't care less, and they like you if they like you, they don't like you, you're screwed. The two main characters are Damien and Ken. The main character is called Damien, of course, because, you know, Hellvale, that sort of, yeah, they're linked. Ken is actually a throwback and sort of like a hat nod to the game Kane as Reddit, which is what I got my original idea from. As you'll learn, this is through video games was my influence. Right, so Damien and Ken have a weird relationship. You could say that they were that Ken was Damien's only friend at the school. Bear in mind he's only been there less than a week. But he's sort of the antagonist. He is what drives, or should I say, he's the pitfall of all of Damien's time at the school. One sees that Damien is not vulnerable physically, but he's in a vulnerable position as he has been uprooted and placed in this desolate, isolated school in the middle of nowhere with pretty much no one he knows. Ken's quite popular, but like on sort of sub-level. He seems to be able to function throughout the school with ease, you know. No hassle from teachers, no hassle from students. Damien was not wrongly accused, but he learned quite quickly that no matter which side of the trouble you're on, you're in trouble in the teacher's minds. And Kane basically takes advantage of this. He tries bringing him into his sort of like, it's not his crew, but it's like well, you'll find out. It's set in a small town in the British countryside because, as I stated previously, it's meant to be an isolated area in the middle of nowhere where it's not connected to any cities, you know, so there's no sort of culture that way. They have internet, they have all this stuff, but they are, for all intents and purposes, isolated. This plays a role as well in the fact that they've been getting away with their criminal activities for so long. I did think about this a lot because I thought, you know, the city is more, you know, akin with crime and things like that, and the academies are usually in, you know, bigger towns and cities. But this seemed right. It was sort of for the protection of the people around them, because obviously the people at the school are very criminal. The plot is basically an ex-offender tries to turn his life around at the Last Chance School. Basically, Damien, the main character, realises that this is his last shot of having a real life, or last shot of having a decent life, comfortably, and he tries to turn his life around through keeping his head down, keeping out of trouble, and trying not to piss anyone off. He realises quite quickly that the school is corrupt and couldn't care less. They basically want the money handed to them from the government, and it's literally a prison, or it's a boarding school to, hide away the people that don't in society that they don't want, the rejects, if you will. He then encounters bullies in which he handles them physically and mentally, but he's just angry that he gets blamed for it all, and he gets taken advantage of by a young lad who is influential in a sort of band of organised crime break and entering squad, which turns out to be run by a tutor / counsellor who is taking advantage of the students by destroying the grades, destroying any sort of chance they have in life, and basically forcing them to commit crime for his own ends. And this is only found out at the very end of the set, when this counsellor etc. comes to the prison comes to jail, a police station, whatever, to visit Damien, who has been arrested in his first sort of orchestration of this crime. Turns out he's his father. The duration of this film will be 15 minutes with a view to becoming a feature if it is liked and if audiences receive it well. I think that I could extend it well if I was given more time, more funding, and had access to these areas, locations, props and actors. The story, as I've explained previously, is following the young lad Damien, who is, I'd say, is probably around 16. He just wants to finish his final year of school in peace. This doesn't, however, happen or go well for him, and surviving the first week is a miracle if it happens. So how long have I done on? My inspiration, I had a lot of different ideas for films before this, and I decided on this by, I thought in recent years a lot of video games have been successfully, might add, transferred into films and also filmed into video games. More of them will be to come, and during my research I found out it's one of the fastest and trending ideas in the film industry. The Resident Evil series is a prime example of a video game that has semi-successfully transitioned from console to box office. There's a lot of others, and I thought it was quite an interesting route to go down. It sort of linked with younger people, the stories based off this game here. Kane is Kane was the title of that game, which is why I called one of the characters Kane in this, as like a sort of homage to them. This did, however, lead me to encounter a lot of moral issues and ethical issues, as this game is semi-old, but there's a lot of stuff in it that wouldn't be allowed to put in it nowadays, and a few people have noticed that recently. Like I said, the characters being quite young as they're of school age, and the other characters being teachers, this could raise, this problems could arise. However, I I think I dealt with that well. I did in my research, but explain what I was planning on doing and how I plan to go about it, and also asked for input, feedback, and other ideas that I could possibly use. I put this to a group of around 20,000 people, and the age range of that is around 15 to 40 odd, and I've received all positive feedback, some quite good ideas as well to put in it, and it gave me a chance to gauge how the audience would feel about that, being younger and older people. And yeah, I noticed that the young people didn't necessarily act the way you would have thought. They did actually, this seemed normal to them, and they actually brought up a lot more adult issues to put in it that I decided against. How was that then?